Are there any statements? And I call the member for Wills.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My electorate of Wills is home to many students. And Wills, of course, and the suburbs in Wills electorate is actually a choice for many students because you can get to Melbourne Uni and RMIT by tram. You can get to La Trobe University by bus and to Victoria University, Swinburne and Monash University by train. Now, when you're walking around Brunswick, North Fitzroy or North Carlton in my electorate, these suburbs are right at the heart of where the university sector is, and there are a lot of young people walking around in Doc Martens. Apparently, this is still a thing. I remember them when I was young, and I've been. Yeah, they never go out of fashion. That's correct, member for Durack. In fact, according to the last census, 12.6% of Wills people in Wills are students, and they're students in tertiary education. 44.2% of Wills, the people in Wills, have a bachelor's degree. Very highly educated electorate. Or above, one of the highest in the country on both measures. People don't deserve to be burdened by a lifetime debt because of their choice to study, Deputy Speaker. They deserve to be supported by their government, by this government. That's what we're doing. We're supporting those people. And we're supporting them by cutting 20% of student loan debts, increasing the minimum repayment threshold and introducing a marginal repayment system for student debt. But what does this legislation really mean for someone in my community? Let's take the example of James. There is a real James here. One of the young people I've spoken to about the HECS debt that they have. James is 27. He has a HECS debt of $68,700 and earned just above $82,500 last financial year. This bill that we're passing here, and we hope to pass here, will cut $13,700 from James's HECS debt, and he will have around an extra $800 a year in his pocket from our reduction in the compulsory repayment amount. Now, this is thousands of dollars more in James's pocket, providing necessary cost of living relief while allowing people to save and invest more in what they want and what they need. It also means James will repay his HECS debt sooner. He says to me he'll put it towards his savings for a home deposit, which he noted will become much more achievable thanks to our government's help to buy shared equity scheme. Thank you, James. This bill is just one part of what the Labor government has done for education in Australia, and many of my constituents, Deputy Speaker, know what is at stake at the last election if the Liberals had won government. Because if they had won, they would have scrapped all of this. None of this would have actually materialised. Our government is actually providing $2.5 billion for all Victorian public schools over the next decade as part of the Gonski reforms. That means more individualised support for students. Meanwhile, we have the Liberals' former leader saying that school funding isn't an issue. That's surprising. The Liberals went to the last election opposing this 20% cut of student debt. In fact, their party and members of their party labelled it elitist and profoundly unfair. That's what they said about this cut of 20%. They said, and this is the irony of this, Deputy Speaker, they said that they'd rather wipe off $20,000 for the boss's lunch. Now, please tell me, Deputy Speaker, which of those is elitist or profoundly unfair? I know which one. Earlier this year, the Liberals opposed making free TAFE courses permanent. They opposed Labor delivering 500,000 fee-free TAFE places. The fee-free TAFE program that is delivering more nurses, childcare workers, tradies and other high-demand industries. And they gutted TAFE last time they were in government. During the election, Deputy Speaker, the Liberals released costings during the election showing that they plan to cut our expansions in our first term to the Commonwealth Prac payment, which would have forced student teachers to give up paid work to complete teaching placements. We put those Prac payments in place because we know how important it was for their cost of living relief, doing their work and their study. And last time the Liberals were in government, Deputy Speaker, they increased university fees. They wanted younger Australians to be straddled with more debt as they're starting out their lives. They made humanities degrees more expensive, as if studying humanities should only be for the wealthy. Now, Deputy Speaker, a lot of people know that I grew up in a housing commission. I'm a houso, like the Prime Minister, and I think also the Minister for, the Minister for Agriculture. There's probably a few more in this House. But because of the visionary policies of successive Labor governments, I got the opportunity to study arts law at Melbourne University, even though I grew up in a housing commission. Now, those policies by the Hawke and Keating governments, They gave me a pathway, like they did to millions of Australians, because education is so critically important. It opens up the door to opportunity for so many Australians, and it's because of education that I've been able to make my contribution, whether it's in the public sphere or in the private sector, as so many other millions of Australians have done. It has given me a pathway to be able to have this honour of representing the people of Wills in this place. And I know that the Minister for Education, my friend Jason Clare, has spoken of his story about being the first member of his family to attend higher education or get a higher education. That's because of those policies. That's what makes a difference, because we believe in education as an investment in the Australian people. Now, my mum and dad, who migrated from Egypt, well, over 50 years ago, they worked so hard, and this is not a unique story. Migrants have this in common. They worked so hard to give my sister and I a better life. And the one thing they kept saying to us is, get a good education. Make sure that you get a good education. We don't care what you do. You can work in a factory, you can be a tradie, you can be a professor, whatever you want to do in life. But make sure you get an education, get a degree, fulfil your potential, give yourself that pathway. And that's what Dad used to say to me all the time. Get a good education. This bill to cut 20% off student debt represents real cost of living relief for millions of young Australians. It's money they'll see more of in their take-home pay. It's money they'll put in their savings accounts as they save up for a house deposit, a down payment on a new rental or another major purchase. But more importantly, Deputy Speaker, it is an investment in them. It is an investment in their future, their education, their potential, their pathway to being able to make their contribution to change their community for the better, to change lives for the better. And that's what education gives us. It is a precious gift that we all are very, very fortunate to be given, and we as a government invest in that precious gift with this bill, and I commend it to the House.
Are there any